9957, representing Nathaniel Hawks, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and state, you've indicated that this motion should be granted?
Kathy Kennedy Swans on behalf of the Office of State Attorney. Yes, Your Honor, we filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
Okay. All right. And that's all you have, Mr. LaFay?
It is. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, can we address two of the RICO cases, Ball and Levin? We have a private attorney here for them. I think we stipulated to a bond.
Okay, I'm not gonna hear any of the RICO cases until this afternoon. I haven't had any opportunity to review any of the documentation. This binder was handed to me at 8:45 this morning. All of the bonds came in at none, so even the judge who signed the warrant didn't give a bond. So I wouldn't even know if the bond was appropriate, or I haven't had an opportunity to review any of those cases. So I'm not gonna hear any of them until this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay?
right.
Court will start at 1 o'clock. Okay. Is statewide handling those? State, do you know?
He said he would try to get back at 1.
Okay,
So we had a discussion, after he
Okay.
left you, he came to me.
I see.
We had a discussion about what bond should be,
Got it. Okay,
which is why I could talk to him about.
all right. Oh, thank you. That's fine, okay. All right. And then, Mr. Diaz, will you just put your appearance on the record?
Manuel Soto Diaz with the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you. One other issue, State, that I wanted to address, this is what we had talked about yesterday, I kept forgetting to bring you the information. The case number for the felony case is 19 CF 3310. Mr. Diaz, just to bring you up to speed, your office had filed a motion for discharge in 19 MM 1960 is the misdemeanor case. I had denied it because the information had been filed timely in the felony case for, it was a resisting officer without violence, was the misdemeanor case. It was filed in the felony case, so I had denied it. Judge Clark indicated to me that she gives a report that shows all of the open misdemeanor cases. I should have, I think, granted it because it had been filed in the felony case already, but in order to close it out, I think the state just has to do a no bill on the misdemeanor case. So I'm asking the state if you can.
The misdemeanor case number, Your Honor.
It's 19 MM 1960.
1960. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
just
is that
that-
the case that, I think the circuit court case was a 3-count information?
Yes.
But somebody from my office reached out to me about what to do with that, and I had the same opinion. I said the state has to no bill the misdemeanor case.
Right. I mean, technically, I
county
could have just
court case, I should say.
granted their motion for discharge. In my mind, I thought, well, they did file timely, right? But they filed it in the circuit court, so the misdemeanor one should be,
I'm gonna reach out to the ASA that has the misdemeanor
Okay.
right now and let them know. Can we just reset it for 1?
sure,
so I
yeah,
can-
that's fine. Absolutely. I just wanted to give you that information because I'd forgotten to do it yesterday
Yeah.
twice. Ma'am, is there something that we can help you with?
She's with us,
Oh.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just wanted to make sure that we had addressed everyone. Okay. All right, then we'll call the first case. Every time you're in here with me, this is what happens. There we go. Good morning, Ms. Cole.
Good morning.
Oh, this is an old case. All right, this is 19 CF 10765. It looks like they endorsed your bond on the out-on bond case. I'm gonna reset the bonds at 1,000 and on count 1 and 100 on count 2. Okay. Thank you. I think they were previously funded, weren't they? She was out on bond. Yeah. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Matthew Allwood.
How about Deborah Sears? All right. All right, I'm gonna find a waiver of Ms. Sears' appearance based upon her inability to attend court. In 17 CF 9906, she failed to appear for a status hearing on February 18th of 2019. The KPS indicates that the public defender is to be notified within 24 hours of her arrest. Her bond is set at none. She also has 19 MM 6730. She was arrested for trespass. There's probable cause for that offense. Bond is $250. She also has 18 MM 11256. She failed to appear for arraignment on January 16th of 2019. Her bond is $100 on count 1 and count 2. Public defenders appointed on all cases. And you're Mr. Allwood, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Allwood, you're here in 16 CF 13097. You failed to appear, sir, for a competency hearing on July 9th of 2018. This KPS indicates you're to be brought in front of Judge Shepard, which is now Judge Beamer, upon your arrest. So now that your attorney's aware of that, their office can reach out to Judge Beamer's office and get you set on her docket immediately. All right? Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
David Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, you're here in 19 CF 11535. You were arrested for principal to criminal mischief greater than $1,000. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, I'm going to order that you're not to return to 4346 Quando Drive, and you're not to have any contact with Gary Wynn.
Okay.
Your bond is $1,000, sir,
There's no other way for me to get out today?
other than posting the bond, no.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name, please?
Let's see.
Hello, Bashar.
Mr. Bashar, this is 19 CF 9800. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for burglary of a conveyance and grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. You are not to return to 11349 Center Lake Drive, and you are not to have any contact with Jan Carlin. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you as well, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Bouchard was interested in being released to PTR. I saw that he wasn't interviewed. Was he not interviewed because of the warrant? Is that what happened? Okay.
Could he be interviewed at this time? Okay, so I'll do the bond or PTR if qualifies.
Thank you.
But they'll proceed.
Your Honor,
Mm-hmm.
James Bloodworth is mental health.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Bloodworth. Your name, sir?
Chadrick Buto.
Mr. Buteau, you're here in 19 CF 11529. You were arrested for aggravated battery. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms, and you are not to have any contact with your roommate, Mr. Fair. Your bond is $1,000, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Buto's likely going to need a one-time opportunity to recover his personal effects.
Sure. Sir, as I stated, you do not have any contact with Mr. Fair, so you're going to want to make sure that you contact the police before you show up at the house to get your things. Otherwise, it's a violation of the order.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Damon Chenault.
Mr. Chenault, this is 19 CF 11558. You were arrested for attempted sale and delivery of methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine with intent, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. There's probable cause for each of the offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $150. Your bond on count 2 is $7,500, and your bond on count 3 is $150. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Darrell Collins. Good
Mr.
morning.
Collins, you're here in 19 CF 11526. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $150. Your bond on count 2 is $1,000. Your bond on count 3 is $100. Your bond on count 4 is $100. I am going to revoke the bonds in both of your out-on-bond cases, and those will be set at none, sir. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Primus Edwards.
Mr. Edwards, this is 19 CF 5776. Sir, you failed to appear for case management conference on August 12th of 2019. Your bond is currently set at none. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Vernon Demetrius Hackney.
Mr. Hackney, this is 19 CF 11534, sir. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You're not to return to 3508 South Orange Blossom Trail. And your bond, sir, is $500.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Justine Handley.
Ms. Hanley, this is 19 CF 11536. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I have a brief moment with Ms. Hanley before we dismiss her?
Sure. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Ryan McNew.
Mr. McNew, this is 19 CF 11538. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell, 2 counts. Possession of Xanax, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Mr. McNew, do you live in Georgia?
Excuse me?
Do you live in Georgia?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Well, I travel. I'm back and forth a lot. I work for a CBD company here called Comfort Leaf CBD, so I do national sales.
Okay.
So I travel a lot.
But your main residence is in Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Also, I have cash on my credit card in my wallet right now.
You work here in Florida also, Mr. McNew?
Excuse me, ma'am?
You also work here in Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
How often are you in the state?
Pretty often. 2 weeks out of a month, maybe.
Do you work in any other states?
Yeah, all over.
Where?
Atlanta, Florida.
Other states?
Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky. We have a CBD company, so we travel.
What is your family?
Family's in Atlanta, Georgia. My mother, 81-year-old mother. That's all I have.
We just have about $20,000 on count one, count two is 150, count three is 150, count four is 100, and count five will be 150.
You know that the subsidiary bonds are 150, 150, 3 150s I heard,
Oh, the paraphernalia is 100.
100, okay.
Thank you. 20,000. Oh. Is there another? Oh, that's right. Okay, so you also have an additional case. It's on.
Left the mark.
Well, Mr. McNeil, I have to tell you what you've been charged with,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? That's 19 MM 6755. It's unlawful possession of a medical marijuana card. There's
Okay.
probable cause for that offense, sir. Your bond on that is $150.
All right, thank you. Should I get my lawyer? Should I get your cards up? Yeah, I don't think I paid that right now.
Mr. Neal.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Sergio Neal?
Mr. Neal, this is case number 19 CF 4983. You failed to appear for arraignment on July 17th of this year. Your bond is currently set at none, sir, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Thank you.
Mr. Posey.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Roy Charles Posey.
Mr. Posey, this is 19 CF 11533. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $2,500, sir. I'm going to revoke your bond in 19 CF 10568. Bond will be set in that manner at $5,000.
Good luck.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Kevin Reddick.
Tell me again.
Kevin Reddick. Kevin Reddick.
Ready.
Reddick.
Oh, sir, good morning. Your case is going to be heard this afternoon, okay? We'll recall your case after lunch,
Okay.
okay? I haven't had a chance to review it to do your bond hearing.
It's possession of cannabis.
Oh,
Yeah, possession of cannabis
I have 2 charges.
Oh, it's the
No,
RICO.
he
okay.
has, yeah, he has other charges.
That's my bad.
I have to review that, sir, so we're gonna hear yours after lunch.
Dexter, I apologize. That's on me.
No worries. Ma'am, good morning, your name?
Amanda Sepulveda.
This is 19 CF 11555. You were arrested for trafficking in heroin greater than 4 grams, less than 14, possession of cocaine, 3 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
About how much?
Gonna set your bond on count 1 at $50,000. Count 2 will be 150. Count 3 will be 100. 4 is 100. 5 is 100, and 6 is 100. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendants, Derek Harris or Miguel Wilson. You also have CT. This is a Polk County out-of-county warrant related to failing to appear for property damage and no motor vehicle registration. The bond on that, ma'am, is $250.
Okay.
She has another case.
I'm getting there.
What is the other?
Out-of-county warrant.
Yeah. This is also an out-of-county warrant from Polk County. No, that's the same one. What's the third one?
She had 2 out of county. 2 out of county, yeah.
3142, 3143, I see, okay. So the other out-of-county warrant is also, again, ma'am, a failing to appear for property damage and no valid driver's license. The bond on that amount is $250. I'll appoint the public defender on the Orange County case.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Lazaro Vela.
Sir, this is 19 CF 11530. You were arrested for possession of ammunition by a convicted felon and driving while license suspended. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $250.
State requested the bond be revoked, he's money out on bond. He doesn't know there's no bond.
I'm not out on bond.
Your Honor, he was released ROR after a 33-day motion in that case.
Okay, I'm gonna revoke his ROR status at this time.
What the fuck?
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Step up. Do that.
Good morning. Your name?
Brady Williams.
Mr. Williams, you were here in 19 CF 11532. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Your bond in that matter is $5,000. You have 19 CF 11531. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle and resisting officer without violence. There's 2 counts of the grand theft motor vehicle. There's probable cause, sir, for those offenses. Your bond will be $1,000 on each count of offense number 1 and $500 for offense number 2. The public defender is appointed in all the cases, and I'm revoking the bonds and setting them at none in both of the add-on bond cases. Thank you,
Your
sir.
Honor, for case number 1, the case that he's here on today, I heard 5,000, 1,000, 500, and
It's $5,000 on the first case, and then on the 2 grand thefts, bond is $1,000 for each of the grand thefts and $500 for the second, for the resisting without.
oh, okay.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
Henry L. Wright.
Henry Wright, is that correct?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, this is 19 CF 8077. I have a affidavit of violation of your pretrial release, sir. I'm gonna reset your bonds. Count 1 is 1,000, count 2 is 1,000, count 3 is 100, count 4 is 150, and count 5 is 100. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, does he not have a second case? Was he already I-8 on the possession of, okay. All right.
We're all set? Okay. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Kendall Todd Drury.
So this is 19 MO 1447. You were arrested for open container. There's probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Drury?
Adjudication, credit for time served, he has credit for 2 days, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Drury, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just need you to sign the plea form, please. Mr. Drury, do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form?
No, I did not.
Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, sir. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Good morning. Nelson Encarnacion. Oh, sorry.
This is 19 MM 6737. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Encarnacion?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication, credit for time served, 2 days, no return.
All right. Mr. Encarnacion, do you want to accept the offer?
Your Honor, he also qualifies for release to PTR, is that correct?
He does.
Court consider PTR release in lieu of bond? Or I should say in lieu of monetary bond.
Say there's no objection.
Okay. I'll release him on pretrial release. Does he always have to come back to court?
I'm sorry?
Does he understand he's going to have to come back to court?
We're talking about that now.
Okay.
Your Honor, he's going to accept the state's offer.
Okay.
Yes, you will.
Sir, did you read the plea
Yes.
form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You can't return to the 7-Eleven at 9562 East Colonial Drive. You will have to pay court costs. Those are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should be out here in about 4 to 6 hours.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Hold on, I'm saying the judge wants, hold on a second.
Maisha Satara Patterson.
Ms. Patterson,
I'll
this is
explain to you what
19 MM 6273. You were arrested for criminal mischief. There
Yeah.
is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent, actually, this is an old arrest, so they just endorsed the bond.
That's correct. Your
Probably
Honor.
because of the probation. Okay. All right, I'll just reset the bond at $250. Whatever other conditions were previously imposed will still be imposed. So let me look to see if there was no contact.
So, what happened?
She bonded before? Okay. So she didn't see a judge at initial hearing. Okay. So she didn't ever see a judge at initial appearance. There were no conditions placed, ma'am. But you're not to have any contact with Taisha Patterson. And I'm actually gonna set the bond at $1,000. Thank you.
She, kids for the way. You end up putting it back over here? Okay. All right. Mr. Smith, come on up.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Morgan Smith, Morton Smith.
Mr. Smith, you are here in 19 MM 6746. You were arrested, sir, for trespass on property
Yes, ma'am.
after warning. Is there an offer for Mr. Smith?
Adjudication credit for time served.
No
2
return?
days, no return.
Okay. Mr. Smith, did you want to accept that offer?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to accept the state's offer and resolve your case this morning?
The state needs an offer to resolve the case. You do adjudicate guilty, sent to the credit for time served.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
Okay, sir, I just need you to sign the plea form, please.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, the PD was not appointed.
Oh, okay.
He didn't fill out the application. Mr. Smith, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am, I am a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You're not to return to the West Oaks Shopping Center. You'll also have to pay court costs, which are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
Roderick Tanner.
Mr. Tanner, this is 19 MM 6744. You were arrested for trespassing. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Tanner?
Adjudication credit for time served of 2 days, no return.
All right. Mr. Tanner, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Tanner, you understand that you're currently trespassed from all the Orange County Library locations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So don't go back there to any of those, otherwise you're going to get rearrested.
Right.
Okay? All right. Mr. Tanner, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No,
Are
ma'am.
you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in
No,
court?
ma'am.
Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days served. You can't go back to any of the Orange County libraries. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Haley Arbor.
Ms. Arbor, you're here for an out-of-county warrant for Seminole County
Yes.
for possession of heroin and possession of cocaine. Your bond, ma'am, is set at none. Seminole County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
John Clark.
Mr. Clark, you were also here for an out-of-county warrant from Volusia County for violation of probation, sir. Your bond is currently set at none. Volusia County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Brandon, good morning to you too.
Brandon Houston Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County related to a grand theft, 3rd degree. Your bond, sir, is $3,000. If you're unable to post that bond, sir, Seminole County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. I'm not gonna take any action on his Orange County case at this time. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, Jeremy Smith.
Mr. Smith, you're here for an out-of-county warrant as well from Seminole County for the offense of petty theft. There is no bond on the warrant at this time. Seminole County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, sir, thank you. All right, see, just let me know when you're ready on the, you ready? This is 19 MM 5804 Jonathan Rowland.
You granted the state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
All right. That motion will be granted. 19 CF 9274 Stephen Pollen.
Be denied. The state filed information on 8/13.
That motion will be denied. 19 CF 9974 Tana Dakotas.
That should be denied. The state filed information and a request to transfer from felony to misdemeanor.
That'll be denied. 19 CF 9962 Joel Maldonado.
Should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 9504 Abiel Velasquez.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 9299 Stephen Pollen.
Should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. 19 CF 9829 Devonte Miller.
Should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
I'm gonna revoke, or I'm gonna deny that motion. His bond on this matter was revoked on August 8th. That will be denied. 19 CF 9692 Robert Brown.
Should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 8587 Abiel Velasquez.
Should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 10128 Alpolipia Allen.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 9961 William Hutchinson.
That should be denied. The state filed information and a request to transfer from felony to misdemeanor.
That'll be denied. All right. Anything else?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Will you just take a look, or you emailed the ASA on that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
they did respond
Okay.
that they filed them, or were filing an amended information, because it wasn't properly consolidated.
They're on the bottom, right?
Correct, so that will be done. I told them as soon as they send me the filing ID, we were recalling it at 1. She said, okay, she was in court right now.
Oh, and then you can no bill the misdemeanor?
Yes, so, well, it'll be consumed into the felony.
Oh, then it'll be fixed?
Correct, it'll
Okay.
be fixed, yeah. So she knows, she just said she was in court, and as soon as she got out of court, she would do it.
Okay, yeah, it was just missing, I think that's why it didn't get closed, because there wasn't that misdemeanor
Correct,
number.
so I
Okay.
guess it was the intake attorney that originally filed it. This is the felony attorney that has the actual
Got it.
file now.
Okay, thank you very much. All right,
No
then we'll
problem.
be in recess. I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is courtroom 1, session 2. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Rafi Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Letitia Fowler with the Public Defender Office.
Thank you.
And Manuel Soto Diaz with the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you. All right. Call her, please. Oh. Oh, you've waived the appearances? Okay.
Yes,
just-
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. We're waiving it because they've run over this morning, and instead of dragging back again, I can handle things without them here. They're fine.
And Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak to both Mr. Pop and the Public Defender's Office relating to bonds prior to. Not saying there's always an agreement, but at least we did have a chance to talk about the cases prior to court. Okay.
All right. So this is 19 CF 11484, Nicole Ball, and Ms. Ball is represented by Mr. Pop, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ball was arrested for 5 counts pursuant to a probable cause warrant for RICO, manufacturing a controlled substance, principal to possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams with intent to distribute, 2 counts, and possession of a place or structure for the purpose of trafficking or distributing a controlled substance. Mr. Pop, did you want to let me know what you spoke to the state about?
Sure, Your Honor. I talked to the state attorney. They were seeking a total of, well, $50,000 on the RICO charge bond and $150 for the remaining 4 charges. Our position is just that we would seek it to be a more reasonable bond, Your Honor. I understand that, one is the RICO charge, but charges 2, 3, and 4 are all 3rd degree. Bond schedule sets those at $1,000 bond. Setting everything at $200,000 seems excessive in light of the facts and her involvement with this whole situation.
Okay.
I can tell you about her history in the area if Your Honor would like as
No,
well.
I have her history. I just don't really, I reviewed all the information. I don't,
Sure. Yeah, I know there was a lot of it you got this morning.
right, but I'm not sure that I agree with your characteristic of her involvement based
Okay.
upon your request for the bond.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was distracted for a second. What is going on? I don't know if you conveyed, state's request is $50,000 on count 1, and then $150 on the 4 remaining counts for Ms. Ball.
Okay.
Mr. Ricardo Diaz will be the attorney on record. He just couldn't make it back again this afternoon. He requested no contact as well, even though I guess they're fiancés. But because of their involvement in this criminal enterprise, he has requested that there be no contact between the 2 co-defendants. Just on Mr. Ball, that's Ms. Ball, it's not the same on Mr. Bond's case.
No, there's different co-defendants for
Yes.
each defendant.
And all I'd ask, Your Honor, is again, they are fiancés, they also live together, so if there's absolutely no contact whatsoever, it'd be a burden on whoever would have to be living out in some other facility.
Right, I would allow there to be a one-time return so that they
Okay.
could pick up whatever personal items that they may need. All right, I'm gonna do $75,000 will be on count 1. Count 2 will be $150. Count 3 is $150. Count 4, $150. Count 5, $150. There's to be no contact with her co-defendant. That's Joel Levin. She is not to possess any weapons or possess any illegal substances. And she's to surrender any passport if she has one. And then the next case is Joel Levin, and you waived his appearance as well, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Levin was arrested in 19 CF 11478 pursuant to a probable cause warrant for RICO, possession of a place or structure for use of trafficking or distributing a controlled substance, sale and delivery of cannabis with consideration greater than 20 grams, unlawful transportation of U.S. currency, counts 4 and 5, conspiracy to traffic in cannabis greater than 25 pounds, conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis, counts 7 through 34. There's another count of possessing a place or structure that's known to sell drugs. Count 36, possession of a place or structure known to manufacture drugs, and count 37, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Did you, go ahead.
State's request, Your Honor, again, speaking to Mr. Diaz on Mr. Levon, he considers him to be the ringleader, that it'd be $500,000 total bond on Mr. Levon's case. Say that they were found on this defendant, $210,000 of cash was obtained, $50,000 from a postal box, a P.O. box related to this, only this defendant, $140,000 in a crate between this defendant and the, I believe it was Carcine Quick, co-defendant. Amount of drugs were as much as 100 pounds, which on street value averages $2,200 per pound. Based on that information, Your Honor, and the amount of cash and drugs that were found with this particular co-defendant, the fact that we don't believe he has any other source of funds, their legal source of funds, Mr. Diaz is requesting him to give $500,000, no contact with any co-defendants, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms, maintain separate residence between him and Ms. Ball.
Did you want to be heard, Mr. Pope?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, our position is that that's just unreasonable based on the facts here. I understand that they're trying to kind of pin him as the ringleader of this whole situation, but that's kind of beyond the scope of just the probable cause in the hearing today. I can tell you as far as his history in the area, he does have other sources of income. He installs home theater systems. He is a driving instructor for Sebring Raceway, as well as does driving for Uber. He's been in the area since the mid-'80s. I understand that there were some prior issues like 20 plus years ago. But since then, there's been absolutely nothing. You know, again, I think that while there are a few that are alleged to be more serious, the bulk of these seem to be conspiracy to commit a third-degree felony, which, you know, again, that is $1,000 for the actual underlying offense, much less the lesser inchoate offense of conspiracy. Just in light circumstances, you're just asking for reasonable bond in this case for him as well.
Okay. Well, given the fact that I don't have the benefit of your client here to provide any testimony in which to determine what a reasonable bond would be, I'm going to go with what the recommendation of the state is at this time. So it was for $500,000 total?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Over 37 counts?
37 counts, Your Honor.
What would that be?
If you do a calculator real quick to see if we can divide it into
Yeah.
this number. If I divide by 32 counts, and then ROR on the last
On the
4 counts,
conspiracies? Okay.
then it's $15,625 per count. And that's for 32 counts.
$15,625.
$15,625 even.
Got it. All
for
right.
32 counts.
So we'll do that, and then, the way that it's up, I don't know if it'd be easiest for you, Jenny, then for like on counts, 30, so there'd be 5 extra counts that need to be ROR'd.
I would do 33 through 37 ROR those. And then that would give you the $500,000 total.
That works. Okay. Additionally, there's to be no contact with any co-defendants in this case, including Nicole Ball. He's to maintain a separate residence from her, not possess any weapons or any firearms. He's to surrender a passport prior to his release. No possession of any illegal drugs. I think that's everything.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, yes, Mr. Pope, for Mr. Levin and for, Ms. Ball, I will order that they're allowed to have a one-time return to the residence with law enforcement in order to pick up any, items that they may need, whoever's gonna end up living there.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Quatavia Jamar Hightower.
Mr. Hightower, you were here in 19 CF 11465. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of RICO, conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, 2 counts, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir. Can I get Mr. Levin's sheet? His packet. Yeah, thank you.
Your Honor, the
Did
state,
you want to be heard?
yes, very briefly, Madam State and I had an opportunity before session to review the disc that was provided by law enforcement. After reviewing the disc, we arrived at an agreement with respect to conditions of release. Our agreement, if the court concurs, would be a bond of $50,000 on count 1 and $150 subsidiary bonds on counts 2, 3, and 4,
Okay.
and whatever other conditions the court finds appropriate.
It's interesting, the bond schedule on the RICO is $5,000.
I'm sorry?
The bond schedule for the RICO charge is $5,000.
We'll go with that.
I just think it's interesting that, the way that it's set up. I reviewed all the information as well. I'm gonna set his bond on count 1 at 5,000. On count 2, it'll be 25,000. Count 3 will be 5,000 and count 4 will be 150. I will do all of the conditions, though. Mr. Hightower, you're not to have any contact with your co-defendant, Mr. Levin. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. You're not to possess any illegal substances, and you're to surrender a passport if you have one prior to your release. Do you understand? I believe that's everything. You're welcome, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Carcine Quick, Your Honor.
Mr. Quick, you were here in 19 CF 11471. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Sir, were you gonna hire an attorney to assist you with this case, or do you wanna see if you qualify for the public defender?
I was gonna try, but for now, I see if you don't mind qualifying for the public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender at this time to represent you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, you were arrested, as I said, pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of RICO, possession of a place or structure used for trafficking or distributing a controlled substance, engaging in unlawful financial transaction, unlawful transport of currency, conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, 3 counts. Another count of possessing or place or structure used to traffic or distribute a controlled substance, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. At this time, I'm gonna order that you are not to have any contact with your co-defendant, Joel Levin, Joshua Givens.
Okay.
You are not to possess any illegal substances, firearms, or weapons, and you're to surrender any passport that you may have prior to your release. Do you have a passport, sir?
No, ma'am, I have a concealed carry permit, though.
Okay. You just can't possess a weapon at this time,
Yes,
sir?
ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, in light of that testimony, are you going to remove that condition?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
You're removing the no weapons condition?
No, the surrender passport prior to release, he stated he doesn't have a
Okay,
passport.
okay, thank you.
All right. All right, bond on count 1 is gonna be $20,000. Bond on count 2 is $1,000. Bond on count 3 will be $150. Bond on count 4 is $2,500. Bond on count 5 is $25,000. Bond on count 6 is $25,000. Bond on count 7 is $25,000. Bond on count 8 is $1,000, and bond on count 9 is $150.
Can I get count 2, Your Honor?
$1,000.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we have, is it 9 total counts? I must have missed the unlawful use of a two-way communication device. That bond is
150.
150? Okay.
To get out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, Mr. Bigney.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, David Bigney on behalf of Kevin Reddick.
Thank you. This is 19 CF 11463. Mr. Reddick, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of RICO, 2 counts of conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Mr. Bigney, did you have a chance to speak with the state?
I did. The state is asking for 50,000 on count one, 150 on the remaining counts. I believe I heard Your Honor say that the standard bond for count one is $5,000, which is what we would be asking for with 150 on the rest. I believe that Mr. Reddick in the, first of all, I'm not sure that what they have here qualifies for RICO. So I'll make without having the full affidavit.
I've read everything, Mr.
Okay.
Bigney.
So we would make that probable cause challenge on that. Additionally, I believe, again, he's probably the low man on the totem pole altogether. And we'd ask that he be situated on a bond schedule or on a bond situation towards the bottom of that.
State.
Again, Your Honor, the request is 50,000 on count one, 150 on the subsidiary counts. I believe he also has the possession of cannabis, another case.
When he was picked up, he had a misdemeanor amount of marijuana on it.
We also said
Oh, I do have
100 on that. State will request 100 on that as well.
Okay.
We don't object to the $100 on that.
Taking into, I'm not gonna revisit the probable cause, Mr. Bigney. The warrant was signed. I understand your argument, and I've reviewed the materials, and taking all of that into consideration, in the nature of the entire, case, I'm gonna treat count two as the primary, and the bond on that is gonna be $25,000. Count one, I'm gonna do at 150. Count three is going to be 5,000, and count four will be 150, and then the possession of cannabis will be the $100. Mr. Reddick, you are not to have any contact, with Mr. Levin or any of the other, just Mr. Levin. It's not named correctly in the affidavit. It states that you're not to have any contact with yourself. It doesn't list Mr. Levin, but I'm gonna order that you're not to have any contact with Mr. Levin. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Do you have a passport, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you're not to possess any illegal substances. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Your name, please?
So excuse me. My name is Lionel Simpson.
Mr. Simpson, you're here in 19 CF 11466. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for the offenses of RICO, 3 counts of conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Sir, I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Did you all talk about this case as well?
We did, Your Honor.
Okay.
And based on our review of the case, and you had mentioned before that the standard bond for the RICO charge is $5,000. We had preliminarily agreed to what you had heard before, $50,000 on count one in the subsidiaries. But really, the negotiation was about the total bond, so it doesn't matter
I
how
see.
it, do you see what
Okay.
I mean? So,
So the total bond was 50,000?
Correct. However,
Okay.
Your Honor wants to split it up.
That's fine. And I, again, like I said, on all the cases, I've reviewed everything, and I think that that would be appropriate in light of what is alleged to be Mr. Simpson's involvement
okay.
in this. So all the other standard conditions are going to apply, sir. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendant, Joel Levin, not to possess any weapons or any firearms, no illegal substances. Do you own or do you possess a passport?
No.
Okay. so it'll be 15,000 on count 1, 20,000 on count 2. And then 5,000 on the rest, is that right? Right? That's 50 total. Jenny, is that right? Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. Okay.
So we're working on math, so a lot of math today.
All right. Did I miss anything on Mr. Simpson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kendall Horween for the record, representing Mr. Swanson. I'm sorry I was not unable to file a notice of appearance on time, but I'll take care of that. I just got hired
Okay, no problem.
less than an hour ago.
Okay. And this is Mr. Horween, his counsel, and then this is Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So you're here in 19 CF 11474. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of RICO, conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis, 2 counts, and a count of unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Mr. Horween, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Just as, if I can, Judge, I spoke to the state previously. I know Mr. Digney just went with his client. I think my client is similarly situated as far as their level of involvement that's being alleged based on my conversation with the state. So we'd ask that the bond be similar to what you recently granted regarding Mr. Digney's client.
Okay. State, did you want to be heard?
I'm sorry, on Mr. Reddick's case, that's the other one that is similarly situated. Your Honor, did 150 count 1, 25,000 count 2, 5,000 count 3, and 150 count 4. It's the same charges
Yes.
and counts, so that's fine.
Although you said 25,000 or 2,500?
No,
25,000.
she did 25,000 on count 2.
On the conspiracy to, his is a different charge, though. Mr. Reddick's, I think, is conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 pounds, which is a $25,000 bond.
I was gonna say that's I thought it was 2,500, so that's what I was looking for, so.
Let me double check, if I made that
I'm looking-
mistake.
His is greater than 25
Pounds,
20
right.
grams, excuse
So
me.
that's correct.
I was actually thinking what might be cleaner then would just do the bond schedule on the RICO, then 150, 150, 150 might
That's
be
not
the.
state's agreement.
Sorry?
Well, hold on, just hold on a second. Just to be clear, though, for Mr. Swanson, his is conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis.
Yes.
There's no amount specified with it.
Correct, Judge.
Okay. So state, what's your position? What is your request?
My original request is 50,000 total, same way I did previously in our report. When I spoke to Mr. Diaz about the case, that was his request.
Okay.
Obviously, I wouldn't have requested $50,000. Mr. Swanson lives locally with his family. He's been in the same job for 3 years. He only has one prior misdemeanor cannabis case in his background. Obviously, I haven't been privy to all the information available in the case, but I think there's generally text messaging, which is what's the state is trying to link him to this offense. And so it's mostly a phone offense, basically, and who's using his phone, I don't know. I don't know if there's any, from my understanding, there's no surveillance of him doing anything with the other people, so I think this relationship is pretty tenuous.
At this time, I'm gonna set his bond on count 1 will be $5,000. Bond on count 2 is gonna be $2,500. Bond on count 3 will be $150. Bond on count 4 is $150.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Same conditions. Actually, I do need to set the conditions, sir. Do you have a passport?
No.
Okay. You're not to have any contact with Joel Levin. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms, and you're not to possess any illegal substances. Understand? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Reddick's back. I'm sorry.
Mr. Reddick looks more like.
Was it 20 grams or pounds? I thought I read pounds.
It says greater than 20 grams in the charge. What the actual information in the warrant was, I don't recall off the top of my head.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I may have misread the bond schedule or misread the affidavit to say 20 pounds when it was 20 grams. Good morning, or good afternoon, so we'll be with you in just a moment, okay?
Sure.
If you're modified, I would say grab Mr. Bigby before he.
For sure. Dexter, will you do me a favor, will you ask Mr. Biggie to come back?
Can you grab that attorney, please? He just went that way.
Did I make that mistake on Mr. Simpson's as well? You represented Mr. Simpson's.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
All right, I better look at that too. That's a
And then
significant difference.
He would have had the same bond. Simpson. Right. Tamano is in a different situation, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we'll need to approach
Okay,
on his case.
okay. That's fine, just hold on that for just a second.
Sure.
Mr. Diaz, you did represent Mr. Simpson, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll recall his case too.
Okay.
All right. Is Mr. Bingy coming in? He represented Mr. Reddick. The other ones are fine. This one is not. And then,
Yeah, I think that forward it's Mr. Bigney that needs to come back.
all right, do you guys want to approach on?
Yes, can we, Tamano?
On tomorrow? Mr. Bigney, thanks for coming back. For Mr. Reddick, I don't know I guess you didn't catch it either, but when I was preparing for court, and checking up the statute numbers, your client was, his second and third counts are conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, not 20 pounds. So there's a
We'd ask for
significant,
lower bond then.
there's a significant difference in the schedule. And taking that into consideration with what we already discussed about his involvement or alleged involvement in the scheme, I'm gonna modify the bond. And it's gonna be all different, just because of the way that it's set up. So on count 1 will be 5,000, count 2 will be 1,000, count 3 will be 1,000. The standard bond schedule on the conspiracy to sell or deliver is 2,500. And then the count 4 will remain the same.
Okay, so
All right, but that's what I did for someone else, and so I,
5,000, 1,000, 1,000,
150,
and 150, plus,
which
plus
is
the other
similar
case,
to
which
Mr.
is 100.
Horween's client with similar facts.
Gotcha.
So I just, once we start doing it, and there's another gentleman too, I thought I should call you back, so
Thanks so much.
you're welcome. Okay. All right. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Robert Tomeno.
Mr. Tomeno, you were here in 19 CF 11476. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of RICO, 2 counts of conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 grams, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. At this time, sir, do you own a passport?
No.
Okay. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendant, Joel Levin. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, and you're not to possess any illegal substances. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm gonna do, bond for you, sir, is gonna be, 7,500 on count 1, 150 on count 2, 150 on count 3, and 150 on count 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
And then Mr. Simpson is the last one, the only one, correct, or no?
I need to correct. Yes, Mr. Simpson as well. Mr. Simpson. Oh,
I don't know if they brought him back, Your Honor.
oh, okay, thank you. That's who? Penfield?
So it is, Mr. Simpson gave him back, and he just changed the phone.
Well, he should still be downstairs, right? You hold him, I'll go tell him.
So
Is he
saying like-
downstairs? Your Honor, if he's still downstairs, then I can just go down there and tell him, we can change it.
I can
Yeah.
just place it on the record.
Yes,
Is that all right with you?
yes.
Okay. So in 19 CF 11466, that's Mr. Simpson's, in reviewing the affidavit, it was first believed that the counts 2, 3, and 4 were conspiracy to sell or deliver cannabis greater than 20 pounds, that's 20 grams. So the bond amounts will be changed to reflect that. Count 1 is still going to be 5,000, count 2 will be 2,500, count 3 will be 2,500, count 4 will be 150, count 5 will be 150. All right, thank you.
have his booking number maybe?
190-24175. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Kareem Benefield.
Mr. Benefield, you are here in 19 CF 9275. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, grand theft third degree, and criminal mischief
Yes, ma'am.
pursuant to a probable cause warrant.
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask? Oh, sorry.
Just let me finish and then
Oh.
you can ask a question, okay?
Okay.
At this time, sir, you're not gonna be able to return to Applebee's at 13351 State Road 535. You're not to have any contact with Tracy O'Leary. Your bond is going to be 3,500 on count one, 150 on count two, and 100 on count three. It appears by looking at the arrest affidavit that the offense date for this case is May 11th. His out on bond cases, arrest dates are 5/24 and 5/20. So I'll take no action on any of the out on bond cases at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon me?
I have a misdemeanor resisting without violence as well.
And yes, and that's 19 MM 6753, sir. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause for that offense. If I didn't say it, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and your bond on that will be $500. Good afternoon, your name?
Shalonda Brand.
Ms. Brand, this is 19 CF 11544. You were arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You also have 19 CT 5993. You were arrested for no valid driver's license, for which there's also probable cause. Your bond in the no valid driver's license case will be $100, and your bond in the felony case is $1,000. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
LaVanya Brown.
Ms. Brown, this is 19 CF 11554. You were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamine greater than 14 grams, possession of cocaine, and possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count one will be $25,000. Your bond on count two is going to be $150, and your bond on count three is going to be $150. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Brown, you're also not to have any contact with your co-defendants. Do you understand? So I can list them for you if you'd like. You're not to have any contact with Amanda Sepulveda, Derek Harris, or Miguel Wilson. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Derek Harris, ma'am.
Mr. Harris, you were arrested in 19 CF 11556 for trafficking in heroin greater than 4 grams but less than 14, possession of cocaine, and 3 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with Amanda Sepulveda, Miguel Wilson, or LaVanya Brown. You're not to possess any illegal substances, weapons, or firearms. Your bond on count one, sir, is $50,000. Your bond on count two is $150,000. And your bond on count 3 through 5 is $100. Thank you, sir. Dexter, I have to bring Miss Brown back briefly. Sorry about that. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Devin Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you are here in 19 CF 11031. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. There's probable cause. It was pursuant to a warrant. You are not to return, sir, to the Sam's Club at 11920 Narcoossee, Orlando, Florida. Your bond, sir, is $3,500. You also have 19 CF 10957. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. You are not to return to the Walmart at 10500 West Colonial Drive, and your bond in that matter, sir, is $1,000. And finally, you have 19 CF 11557. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied structure and grand theft, third degree. There is probable cause for both. I'll appoint the public defender in all the cases. You're not to return to 5820 Edgewater Drive, that's the Wawa. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. Thank you, sir. Ms. Brown, in addition to not having any contact with your co-defendants, I have to inform you that you cannot possess any illegal substances or any weapons or any firearms. Do you understand? All right, thank you, ma'am. What about Tynese Kaiser?
Ms. Kaiser bonded yours.
Good afternoon, your name?
Willie Lewis McCormick.
Mr. McCormick, you were arrested in 19 CF 11542 for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Your bond is $2,500. At this time, sir, I'm not going to take any action or revoke your bond in 19 CF 7555. You cannot drive without a valid driver's license, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, John.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Rudolph Thomas Narvaez.
What about,
Samuel Mendez bonded yours.
okay. Tell me your name again, sir.
Rudolph Thomas Narvaez.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested in 19 CF 11541 for possession of a controlled substance, 2 counts. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000 and your bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name, please?
Lorena K. Paris.
Ms. Paris, this is 19 CF 11548. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause for the offenses, ma'am. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Paris, how long have you been living at 3201 East Grant Street?
Off and on since 2010. There's been a number of incidences there between my ex and I, but it's fine right now.
Okay. How long have you lived in the Central Florida area?
Since 2010 with a brief stop in West Palm Beach.
Okay, you have family in the area here?
No, just friends.
Do you work?
I just, tomorrow. I'm unemployed right now because I left my job in April to go take care of a sick relative. They passed away and I came back down here. I have job interviews over the next couple days.
All right. Ms. Paris, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance at this time. But I need you to listen to me just for a minute, okay? You have to return to court for your court date. If you don't, they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. It will not have a bond on it, okay? You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms. You're not to possess or use any illegal substances. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Good afternoon.
Tell me your name.
Huh?
Tell me your name, please.
Jonathan Omar Perez.
Mr. Perez, you were here in 19 CF 11547. You were arrested for retail theft, $300 or more at multiple locations. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the Walmart at 3838 South Cimarron Boulevard. You're also not to return to the Winn-Dixie at 2960 Curry Ford Road. You're also not to have any contact with your co-defendant. Samuel. Can't find Samuel's last name. Mr. Perez, I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time. You're also going to have random urinalysis while you're on pretrial release, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Cornelius Smith.
Mr. Smith, this is 19 CF 11550. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You can't return to the 7-Eleven at 215 East Central Boulevard. Your bond, sir, is going to be $1,000.
When my next court date?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
We
So
don't
how
know.
I'm supposed to know when to go to court?
They'll let you know, sir. Your lawyer will let you know. How about Miss Tanis?
Miss Tanis is bonded, Your Honor.
She did, okay. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Roy Anthony Walls.
Mr. Walls, this is 19 CF 11545. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause, sir.
And now Cracker go snatch me on my bicycle and beat my ass. I don't
Okay,
live like that.
Mr. Walls,
And I don't
listen.
wanna hear that Jim
Mr.
Crow
Walls,
shit.
can you
Now,
just
bitch,
listen
gonna
for a
act My
minute?
Fourth Amendment was violated. You got to get it right, cause I know more law than half these videos. Now man finna snatch me on my bicycle.
Okay, Mr. Walls, I let you talk. Are you gonna let me talk, or do you need to
No,
leave?
you can talk, but I'm coming.
Okay. So, sir, your bond on count 1 is gonna be $500. Your bond on counts 2 and 3 is going to be $100. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir, so you can
Okay,
discuss your
yeah,
case
I'm
with
gonna
him.
tell him what to do, yeah, I'll
Okay.
take your floor.
Thank you, Mr. Walls.
This way. On my damn bicycle, beat my ass, that's some pro shit. I don't play that. Yeah, yeah.
Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Excuse me?
Tell me your name.
Miyagi Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, this is 19 CF 11553. You were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines greater than 14 grams, possession of cocaine, and possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $25,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $150, and your bond on count 3 is $7,500. Oh, sir, you're not to have any contact with your co-defendants, Amanda Sepulveda, Derek Harris, or Lavanya Brown. You can't possess any weapons or any firearms or no illegal substances. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Did Ms. Ramirez bond?
Mr. Ramirez is pretrial release, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, your name?
William Stowell.
Mr. Stovall, this is 19 CT 5995. You were arrested for no valid driver's license. There is probable cause. I'm going to, well, you didn't fill out the affidavit, sir. Do you want to hire a lawyer to help you with this case, or do you need to see if you qualify for the public defender?
Public.
All right, are you working?
Yes,
How much money do you make every 2 weeks after taxes?
like about 600.
$600? Do you have any children or family members that you take care of?
Well, my son right now.
Okay, so 600 every 2 weeks and one dependent? Yeah. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender based upon your testimony. Mr. Stovall, do you want to resolve your case today?
What you mean?
Do you want to enter a plea today to the no valid driver's license?
Yes.
Okay, I need him to sign the plea form if he wants to enter a plea. Mr. Stovall, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation? Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right. Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, and I'll take no action on the out on bond case. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Lasani Brown.
Mr. Brown, this is 19 MM 6751. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Brown? Okay. Mr. Brown, your bond at this time is $500. Thank you.
Say it again.
Your bond is $500.
Is there any way I could get out today? They was talking. They was asking me, or they was saying, since it was a misdemeanor, I can get out today if I take a plea.
Well, the state's
Because
not
this was
making
just-
an offer, sir, and based upon the facts in this case, the court's not willing to make an offer at this time either. So the bond's $500. Thank you. Okay. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Jacquez Legrand.
Mr. LeGrand, this is 19 MM 6752. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Well, so you actually didn't fill out the application. Are you gonna hire a lawyer to represent you, or do you wanna see if you qualify for the public defender?
I see if I qualify.
All right, are you working?
No, ma'am.
All right, do you have any source of income?
No, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. LeGrand?
Education credit for time served, 2 days.
Mr. LeGrand, do you wanna accept that offer?
Your Honor,
Yes.
we're not going to take the plea.
Okay. Bond is $500. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jared Postel.
Mr. Pastel, this is 19 MM 553. You were arrested for accessory to grand theft, 3rd degree. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You can't return to the Wawa at 5820 Edgewater Drive. And your bond is $500. Is there an offer for Mr. Pastel? Okay, the bond is $500. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Good morning, Tremont Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, you were here for an out-of-county warrant or an out-of-county probation violation from Sarasota County. Mr. Stewart, this is it? Okay. All right, Mr. Stewart, there is probable cause for the violation of probation based upon the affidavit. At this time, sir, your bond is going to be set at none. Sarasota County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. Yes, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Let me just explain to you, I don't have any information about your case in order to set a bond. I don't know what happened in Sarasota County. I don't have any information about you, so that's why your bond is set at none. You're gonna have to talk to the judge when you get over to Sarasota.
But ma'am, my probation not in Sarasota, it's down here.
Sir, again, I don't have that information, so they're gonna come get you and you'll be able to talk to someone who knows about your case. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Dennis Miller.
Mr. Miller, you're here in 19MO1448. Sir, you were arrested for state misdemeanors. There is probable cause for the state misdemeanor of loitering and prowling. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Miller?
Adjudication credit for time served, 2 days.
Mr. Miller, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am, no contest.
All right, just sign the plea form, please.
You appoint the public defender's office, Your Honor?
Yes.
It's gonna be Rich, man.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving
No,
up?
ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You can't return to 215 East Central Boulevard. You have to pay court costs which are due by August 14th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Steve Haddon.
Mr. Haddon, you are here in 19MO1446. You were arrested for camping, sir. There is probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Haddon?
Adjudication credit for time served of 3 days.
Want to accept that, Mr. Haddon?
Mark that. I'll leave today.
Mr. Haddon, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it? Mr. Haddon, I'm up here. Mr. Haddon. Mr. Haddon,
Yeah, man.
I need you to just pay attention for a few minutes, okay? Mr. Haddon, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything that's on the form?
I come here.
All right. Are you on probation?
No. I've been on probation for.
All right, sir. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court
No,
today?
nothing.
All right,
Take-
sir.
Change my attitude.
All right. I'm gonna accept your plea.
215.
It is. I'm going to accept your plea,
Breakfast.
adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 3 days, Mr. Haddon. You have to pay
Time
court
served,
costs.
right?
What?
Time served?
Time served. You'll be out today. You have to pay court costs which are due on August 14th of 2020. You understand, Mr. Haddon?
Yeah, 2020. I'll pay my fine. I paid it last time.
All right.
I'll
Thank
pay
you,
it
sir.
this time.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Washington? All right, we'll go to Ms. Washington. Anything else? we'll be in recess.